So yes, now we get on to Oath to Order, the last part, where this is the biggest part of the thing. You can see down here, I've been neglecting these tracks for a while, because this here is piano. My biggest weakness. Yes, I can't play piano to save the life of me. But I figured out the notes for the song, actually. So, there's like 5 keyboard parts. 3 of them are synthesized ones, and then 2 of them are like proper piano sounds just from the same keyboard. But here's the choir sound you can hear. Now, what I have on there is just a track EQ to cut out some of the low end, because the bass already takes the low end and that sort of thing. So I didn't want to get too muddy. Maybe that's why I decided to put that sort of thing on the 7 string. Anyways, and then dynamics and reverb. So if I turn all this off, this is what it sounds like. If I... And then turning on the EQ. There's not much difference in the EQ, but the dynamics... You can hear the big difference in volume. And then reverb, not much difference anyways. There's already reverb on there, but whatever. And then that same, I believe it's the same or slightly different thing is done on the strings. This is the main chords on the strings. And that has the same effects on it as well. And what I have on the third track, strings 2 is the low end, like almost like the cello area. And together with the other one, also this has the same effect. Together with the other one, it sounds like this. And then with the choir, in fact, what's interesting is that the bass part of it, the thing which I also did on the bass guitar, is it has sort of a chromatic feel to it at the second half of the loop part of the song. So where's that? Over here. Like in here, it's descending in notes each time, and basically it's going one note on a keyboard at a time, on like 4 of those notes in succession. And that's what chromatic is, for anyone that doesn't know what chromatic is. So the chromatic scale is basically every note on the keyboard, all 12 notes, all 12 unique notes before it repeats on, and then eventually end the keyboard, And then the piano parts. Now, I sort of did a mistake on this. If I take off the dynamics and stuff, so you can hear just what it sounded like originally. So that's what it sounds like originally. Then the EQ of the cutting out the bass thing. Doesn't make much difference. Dynamics. You can hear it sort of like clipping slightly, which... in the grand scheme of things, what you hear in the final thing, you can't really notice it because it's mixed so far down in the mix. Because of, let's see, how many layers are there? Like 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's lead guitar. There's like 14, 15 layers at the time in this, when you include the drums and not include this. So, yeah, that's... Why? Now, the piano, I had a hell of a time trying to record that. I tried to record it all on the same day. Like, I did this first, the piano chords, this. Then I believe I did the choir. Then I did the chord strings. Then I did the cello strings. And then I tried for about 6 hours trying to get the main melody part right. And then I came back a week or so later, a week and a half later. It was a few days before I finished mixing and uploading, actually, because it was on the last few days of the before New Year, because I wanted to get it out on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, one of those two. So I managed to do that, and I actually got it in within the first 2 or 3 attempts, which is surprising. So that's what this sounds like here. Oops. I changed some things accidentally. There we go. So that took a while to figure out, because basically I had to remember the different shapes of all the things. And if I take all this off, it only has EQ and reverb, and the EQ, you already know what that does. That cuts at the low end, which you can't really hear much of. The reverb adds a bit of a whole reverb, and all together now. Let's go at the Beatles. Yes. That would actually fit as an orchestral version of the original song, just at a higher speed, because the original speed was something like 65 BPM or something like that. I believe something like that. Oh no, 68 I believe it was. Some slow amount, but it was really slow in comparison. Actually, never mind. It's screwing up the timing, whatever. So never mind about that. But it's much slower. It's much slower in the original song. But I made all the songs in here uniform to 95 BPM, so it fits properly. So now that's what that sounds like, and that comes. You can see in the lead guitar, I actually have the lead guitar from the previous part carry over onto this part here, because I think it sounds good. So if I don't solo anything, so you can hear it. But yeah, you can hear it dies down and like that. Now, you see this thing here, reverse symbol. Pay no attention to the waveform, it lies. The waveform should not have this big square in it. That's what it should look like. It's just the program that does it. But what it is actually, obviously a reverse symbol. So if I play this soloed, but yeah, reverse symbol. And all I have on there as EQ-wise is slight bass cut, slight treble boost, and that's all that's on it. So if I skip. So if I loop this part here so you can hear the difference. If I do the thing. You can hear a slight increase in treble and that sort of thing. So, then you can see the Phil Collins thingies are still going on in here. Like where you can see that sort of thing. The general stuff. That's the only layer. That's the only thing on that layer, the reverse symbol layer. So if I size this down, and we have a look back at the ending background riff thingy. If I uncheck everything, this is the one with the most effects, other than the bass, I believe, on a single layer, and it's this part here. Actually, I'll re-put all the effects on it so you can hear what it sounds like from the original. If I... that dies down naturally. And you can hear it's the same effect as what was on the solo thingy from over here. Where it sounds like it's all filtered, and that's what this resonant filter effect does. So if I disable everything on here, including the reverb and delay. So yeah, that's what it sounds like there. And what I have on the EQ is just a bit of a top end cut. Makes it sound slightly less like a fuzz box and more like a proper, overdrive distortion type of thing. And then dynamics, you know what that does already. Increases sound. And delay reverb, we'll get to that in a moment. That's normal, the normal stuff. And then the filter, this is the fun thing. So if I disable everything so you can just hear what this does. Basically, what this does is, if you imagine, actually what I'll do, I'll be able to put a waveform onto here. Hoping that this doesn't actually stop. Oh, there we go. If we add this effect that I downloaded afterwards, just to make sure everything was right when I was mastering the thingy. If we have a look at the waveform without the resonant filter, here's what the spectrum thingy looks like. So you can see there's not much bottom end, not much top end. And then with the EQ, slightly less top end again. If I restart it getting again, dynamics makes it louder, delay, that doesn't make much difference on the spectrum. It's mainly the dynamics we're after, not dynamics. Why am I saying dynamics? I was meaning the filter, herp-derp. You can see this spike right here. There's a spike there. That's the point, it's basically what this is taking. If I turn this back off, you see it's much more uniform, or comparison. What it does is it takes a frequency from the sound and then increases it a hell of a lot. So what it's basically like if you have the EQ thing. If I grab another EQ so I can show you. So if this is your EQ thing, you have your thing. You have the low shelf EQ and then the high shelf EQ. Where we're focusing on is the band EQ, which is this spike here. And if we turn down the bandwidth, it creates a huge spike here. And if we set this to, what was this at on the resonant filter? This was at 1.5 kilohertz. So 1500 hertz or 1.5 kilohertz. And it doesn't get the exact same sound, but it gets, if I actually turn up the bandwidth. And if you compare, it's a not exact same sound because it cuts out everything else mainly. If I it's a sort of similar sound to that sort of thing. If you know what I'm talking about here. So I can delete the span thingy here. So yeah. My ears. And then this part here, this is to end the song. You can hear there's like 3 parts here. This layer, these 2 layers are never used in anything other than this last part here. It's one note. So I'll show you the shorter one first. This is like this is a harmonic, like a pinch harmonic, where when you're strumming, you use part of the flesh of your thumb to hit the string like the fraction of a second after you hit the string, and it creates like a harmonic of the note, or in other words, a higher note. So you'll hear what I mean here. If I just strummed, it would have sounded like this. So yeah, and what I have on here is I would have had delay on here, but I just have it disabled because I didn't need it, and there's too much delay otherwise. Anyways, so if I enable this only, there's no need for it. You can hear the delay in there, but there's no need for it. Compressor, that's basically a similar thing to what what I was doing with the other one. I don't even know if it's doing much. I don't think it's doing anything actually. Is it? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's making it the note last longer, so you can hear without. And then with. You can hear more noise in there, but this main thing up here masks it out quite a bit. This part that's flashing on and off. And the reverb has no dry. If I turn on the dry, it sounds like this. Because I basically wanted to have the acoustics sound like it was all reverb and stuff. To get that sort of big ambient sound again. Lots of big ambience in this, if you haven't noticed already. Then EQ on that is just a slightly lower top end, because otherwise it'll take an ear out. So this was well, not quite, but you know, it's over exaggeration. If I turn off everything, then on, slightly more mellow sounding. You can hear the difference there when I turn it on and off. So if I turn all this on, except for the delay, don't need that. Then this here has the delay. This has nothing on the, there's nothing changed on the bass. It has a mid boost and a treble cut on this just normal sounding note here. So if I turn that off, everything. Very trebly, not as much mid-rangey. And then dynamics, turns it up. Simple delay. In reverb, you already know what that does. And this here, this is a chord, a D minor chord that was strung. It sounds almost like it was held with like a bit of a sustainiac on there. There is no sustainiac on my guitar. I am too poor to get that. It's just using like the feedback from the amp. So let's see how long this lasts. I'll put a timer on the screen and go. So yeah, long notes, and that note is held for the other instruments as well, the bass. And apparently I don't have all the effects on there. That's why it sounds all empty with the bass. That explains everything. Yeah, much better. So I forgot to turn that on apparently. But yeah, that goes on at the same time as those. And then lead guitar has a note as well, which is the one that's used the most is like this one here, that one there. And that has a note at the end of it as well, like the. I tried to do a harmonic there, so I just added it in with the post-recording there. So, yeah, and with that's what it sounds like. And then with the rhythm guitar, with the filtered guitar, there's not much difference there. The choir, you can see it's the choir that's all the synthesized stuff that stays out until the end. That's why they faded it out with their thingy here. And then with the strings, and then the cellos, yeah, there's not all that much difference there. But then with the piano there, just a slight bit there. Now, what I'll also mention is about the drums. These drums here, basically what I did, I set this, I'm trying to remember how I did this because it's been a while since I've done this. Basically what I did is I set this to record while I play it back. Like, so if I solo like this here, it would play like this sort of thing. Yeah, that sort of thing. And then what I would do is I would set it to automate, like automation write. I mean, and basically what that does is it overwrites. Say if I do this, it's actually not that. I haven't used this in a while, so yeah, bear with me. Never mind. So let's not do that. But basically, what I did is I played it back, and then I would just spam the cymbal button, and then like here, like that sort of thing. And then I would do the same, go over it again. This time on this one here. That sort of thing. And then I'd copy it to this layer, or to the snare drum layer to accentuate it a bit more. And then this is what the grand finale sounds like. You might actually notice this version has no wind at the end of the thing, like how it is in the video. And the wind is only added in the video because, you know, I like the wind sounds in the song. But if you download it from SoundCloud or the whatever, the Mediafire, that's the other one, it won't have that on. It'll just sound like that sort of thing, like no wind at all at the end. So yeah, that's the separate project things there. I believe that's everything in there. I think so. Okay. So yeah, that's basically it. I've been going at this for about an hour and 20 minutes. Just on that now, actually. Wow, this is going to go over a few videos, I think. So there's that. I will leave you with this fine picture of Link. Look like he have smoked some weed, you know. He's all tired, I know. So I'll see you next time. Hopefully I will have done the thingy, done the medley by then. No, not the medley. What am I talking about? The cover I'm working on. So I have been, I'm a Future Guitar Hero. And as always, peace.